everyone, today Rosie and I are going to attempt to make an Uma from Disney Descendants out of these few props we've gathered together. First we've got a MOXIE High doll, and she used to have blue eyes and pink lips, and we've just painted her eyes brown with some acrylic paint and painted over her lips with a bit darker colour. She's got the right colour hair, we think, for Uma, apart from we're going to add some strands of, this is embroidery cotton, we're going to add some strands of embroidery thread into it. We've chosen this little dress, which I'm sure came on a doll from the pound shop. We're going to alter that a little bit to fit. We're going to take this bow off it, and it needs taking in a little bit at the back because it's a bit too big. We've got this little net thing that we thought would go really well on her. And we found an Artitude jacket, which we know will fit her because it did belong to her, and we're going to paint it. We've already started painting it in this turquoise colour. It's going to need at least 2 coats though, so yeah. We've found some boots that we think will match very well. We might put a little bit of gold detail on those, we'll see. And we have some tassels because she has some tassels too, so yeah, we're going to get on with that, and we'll let you know how we get on. Okay, so we've got the dolly's dress on her, and all I've done is just move the velcro a bit at the back because she is going to have a jacket on, so you won't see that. And even if you do, it still looks pretty good. All I've done is move one piece of the velcro across a little bit and glued it on there. I haven't even sewn it, I have literally glued it. So yeah, that's what I've done there. And the next thing I'm going to do is glue some tassel on around her waist and cut it to the same length as her skirt. I'm not going to do it all the way round, so we'll say maybe that much. So if I cut that off to there, put some glue on the back of it, a little bit of glue, and then glue that onto the black part. There we go. And then what I can do is I can trim that to the same length as her skirt. Literally just trim it because this is some tasseling I bought from eBay, and I bought it to make the tassels on my Sirena Von Boo, so that's going to be my next project after this one. Yeah, so that's her dress for now. We'll go on to the next part. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this embroidery thread into her hair, and to do that, because her head is so hard, because she's a MOXIE girl, her head is so hard that I've really struggled to make a hole in it, I think, to thread this through. So what I'm going to do is literally glue it on. Yes, darling?
I think the boots are dry.
You think the boots are dry? Okay. We've painted a little bit of detail onto the boots. I'm going to go over that again to make it a bit darker, but yeah, that's drying, and the jacket too is drying. We've put 2 coats of turquoise paint on that, so yeah. But when I can find an end to this, ooh, we're really struggling with this, aren't we? Yeah, so if we measure the length of her hair, so about that length, you can always cut it shorter afterwards. So cut that. I wonder if what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a little knot in it to give the glue a little bit extra to hold. So tie a knot in it at the end, maybe a double knot. And I found with this dolly that her hair has got quite a big gap between each line of rooting, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue on the thread in between, in that gap there. I'm going to glue on the blue thread. Yeah. So a little bit of hot glue from my hot glue gun. hold her hair out of the way and just pop that on there. She says confidently, missing it altogether. Yeah. And I think once we get a few of those in and maybe do a few little plaits, that's going to look great. So yeah, so I'm going to continue to do that until I get a good few on, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm getting on. Okay, so we've got all of our strands of embroidery thread glued to a head in between the first 2 rows of hair. We've plaited all of the plaits using thin pieces of hair, 2 thin pieces of hair and 1 piece of embroidery thread. And I had to actually glue in a couple more bits so that I had enough thread there just to make the plaits with. So this is what we're doing. Yeah, so, and when I get to the end, what I did was divided the thread in half and wrapped it around and tied it to hold the plait in place. So we're near the end now. So I'm going to divide the thread in half. Because it comes in 6 strands, I can do that. If it was just 1 strand, I suppose you could still sort of wrap it round and tie it, or you could put a tiny bit of glue on it there. Because you don't have to use embroidery thread, you could use wool, or you could perhaps even use thin pieces of fabric, as long as you add the colour into a hair. I don't suppose it matters. So what I'm doing is twisting it around the hair a few times and crossing it over in opposite directions, like so, and then I'm going to tie it in a double knot. 1, 2, and then I'm going to cut the thread to the same length as her hair. There we go. And this is what we have. Now I think that that's enough, because when she gets a hat on, you won't see the back of her hair anyway, will you? So she's got her dress and she's got her hat. Rosie, what have you got to show us? Bring it over here, darling. We've got the little jacket. Now this was an Artitude jacket that we painted blue, and we left the gold ribbon because it had a gold ribbon on it. And on top of that, I've put on this little net jacket that I found. I think it must have been a Bratz one. I think that's what it was. Yeah, and we popped that on the top because we thought that would look pretty good on her. And she's got her tassels around her waist. So yeah. So we haven't got a hat for her, but I am going to attempt to make one. Now whether I do that successfully or not will be another thing. Yeah. Right, so okay, so now we're going to have a bit of a off-the-cuff attempt at making a hat. And what I've done, I've cut out a circle of felt that is approximately 15 centimetres across. Now I've no idea how I'm going to fix it to her head, but yes, and I've pinned it. I've roughly pinned it over the three corners like that. And I wonder if I could sew it to a head or pin it to a head, or, but we want it to go like that, don't we? Is that right, Rosie?
Yeah.
And then once I've got it on her head, I will actually glue these bits down. So you think, I think we could try pinning it, couldn't we?
Yeah,
We're going to try pinning it and see how we get on. If it works with the pins, then maybe we could glue it on, couldn't we? Not glue it, sew it.
Sew it, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that would be an idea. We'll see how we get on. So what I'm doing is I'm pinning it through her hair, because you can't pin it to her head because her head's that hard that you simply can't pin anything to it. But yeah.
That's what Dizzy has. Dizzy has a sew on around.
a sore on her eye?
Yeah, no.
What on earth does she have a sore on her eye for?
No, because she's giving Mel a makeover.
Oh, I see.
Mel says okay then.
Oh, right. Right, so what I've done is I've pinned it to her head, and if that'll hold on there like that, then I can actually sew that into place. But then the next thing I'm going to do is glue these 3 flaps into position with my glue gun, and we'll see how it looks. Like I say, this is very off the cuff, this hat is. Making pirate hats is not something I'm well known for, or very good at. Is it, Rosie? I don't think I've made pirate hats for a dolly before. I think I might have made them for dressing up before, but that was out of cardboard, I think.
I showed Mummy because it was squeezed one head in.
It looked really funny, didn't it?
Like a black ghost, I didn't know what.
Silly Maymar, silly Maymar. Made you laugh, didn't it? Yeah. Right, so now what we've got is a hat that's pinned onto her head. Yeah, we might need another few pins, I think. But I do think if I sew it to her hair, then that might hold on pretty well. So I'm going to have a go at sewing it to her hair, and then I'm going to draw around the edge of it, and I'll let you know how I get on. Okay, so here we have Uma all finished. I've cut a little piece of felt and wrapped it around her waist twice, and I've decorated it with some silver paint to make it look like buckles and studs and things on there. She's got on her painted jacket with a little net thing over the top, which looks a bit nautical, we thought. Yeah, she's got on a hat. Well, I'm not 100% happy with the hat, but Rosie likes it, so we'll leave it at that. And I've gone around the edge of her hat with some silver, well actually it's silver elastic that I've glued on. Yeah, I may have to redo the hat at a later date, but yeah, the hat's been sewn to her head, and then I've gone around it with the silver. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess, but anyway, that will come off when it's dried properly. Yeah, so yeah, Rosie, what do you think to Uma?
Really good.
Really good. Are you happy with her?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there she is. She's got her boots on. Yeah, all done. And yeah, actually, for a MOXIE doll, I think she's come out really well. Yeah, the only thing I'm not 100% happy with is a hat, like I say. But yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. And just before I go, I'd like to give a big shout out to one of my subscribers, and that is Gaming Pugs. Okay, thank you very much. Bye for now.